I haven't graded everybody's test yet, but I can tell you that off the top of my head, about 3 people missed the first one. Uh, and what they did is they picked usually D. I think it was usually D that they picked, or maybe B. But you need to kind of do a lineup process here. Like, I should see a 0 on that column, right? 602. This column's about Y. I should see 098, -279, 20, 56, 53. It's choice A. And there were kids that missed it. It did happen. It did. All right. I want to say 2. I don't think I've graded a quiz where it's been missed yet, but I could be wrong on that. And we're just going to look at the coefficients here. -6, -8, -7, -5. Doesn't do me a lick good. 8, -9, nothing, 5. Okay, so this one's off. See that 5 right there? That one's gone. This one's gone. It's got the 9 in the wrong place. All right, we got -3, 0. I got something there. Gone, which means it's this one. It's just process of elimination, right? You don't see many kids do this. Like, they don't mark things off. Like, pick up your pencil. I don't get why you don't do that. But whatever. All right, perform the row operations on the given augmented matrix. This one was, by and large, for what I graded so far, pretty good. But, you know, a lot of kids still miss it because you don't quite understand row operations. So what I need to do is I need to multiply row 1 by 4. And this is where the mistakes tend to be made that I saw. 4 times -7 is -28. 4 times -5 is -20. 4 times -1 is -4. And 4 times -10 is -40. And so that's row 1. And I need to add to it, by the way, that's for row 1. I need to add to it row 3. And what is row 3? Row 3 is a 28, a -6, a 6, and an 18. The mistakes that I saw tend to be made right here. A lot of kids thought -20 and -6 made 16. It never has. It never will. -20 plus -6 is -26. And of course, -28 and 28 is 0. And -4 and 6 makes 2. And -40 and 18 makes what? -22? So I'm looking for a row 3 that looks like this. And it's this one right here. Choice C. Number 4, complete disaster. That's just all I can say. Complete disaster. Probably about 25% of the student body. It might be as high as 30% that I've graded so far got it. But I gave you the suggested row operations. I did. I guess you just want to do it. So after you write your matrix, which would look like this, it's the augmented matrix. The very first thing I suggested you do was a row swap. So we're going to swap these 2 rows around. The reason I made that suggestion was to get that 1 in the desired place. If you're planning on taking dual enrollment math next year, knowing row operations and how to do them is a big deal. Kids probably don't realize how important this class is until the next year. Like, I'm telling you, I'm teaching you everything you're going to learn next year in dual enrollment math. So make it count. Anyways, I've done my row swap. Row 2 is supposed to be row 2 minus 5 row 1s because 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, so here's my next row operation. Row 2 is row 2 minus 5 row 1s. I am not changing row 1. But 5 take away 5 1s is nothing. -2 take away, this is -2 take away 5 4s. And this got some kids. It's -22. What really got kids is the next one. This is -1 take away 5 35s. And what a lot of y'all do is you're guilty of only doing one thing. Like, this is negative 1 take away 175. A lot of kids wrote negative 175. A lot of kids wrote negative 174. But negative 1 take away 175 is negative 176. Always has been, always will be. Next suggestion was to divide out this negative 22. Row 2 is row 2 divided by negative 22. I gave you all the steps. I did have higher expectations for this problem. It just didn't work. It turns out that 22 enters 176 8 times. And the last row operation is to take away this row 4 times because you want that to be a 0. So row 1 is row 1, take away 4 row 2's. So 1 take away 4 zeros is still 1. 4 take away 4 ones is nothing. 4 eighths is 32, right? So that's 35 minus 32, which is 3. And 0, 1, 8. So the correct answer was either written in the form x equals 3, y equals 8, or preferably 3, 8. All right, moving forward. Let's see here, the determinant. Almost half the student body missed this one because you did not write it out. I told you, write it out. Even kids that I specifically called on and said write it out, they still wouldn't write it out, and they still missed it. We do the downward diagonal first, 12 times 3. Take away the upward diagonal, which is a negative 4 times a negative 7. And by golly, there were sign mistakes made. A negative times a negative is a positive. You multiply it by another negative and it's negative. 4 times 7 is 28. This is 36 minus 28. The correct answer is 8. It ain't 12, it ain't 64. It's 8. Use the given matrices to compute the given expression. This one was pretty bad for a couple of reasons. The very first thing you should have done is figure out what a minus b is. So 6 minus 7 is a negative 1. By the way, there's still a 2 out front. That's what a lot of kids forgot. But I'm doing a minus b. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. 9 minus 7 is 2. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. It's the arithmetic that got you. Negative 1 minus 8 is 9. Negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. 3 minus 1 is 2. It's this one right here that got kids. Negative 6 take away a negative 1 is not negative 7. That's the one that got people. It's negative 5. That was the biggest one I saw. It's always been the big one I saw. It's the arithmetic that's killing y'all. 1 minus 6 is also negative 5. And now you've got this 2 out front, which a lot of people forgot there was a 2 out front because you're not finishing. You're doing something partially. Like, fix that issue. But you have to double all these numbers, right? 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. No, 2 times negative 5, negative 10, so forth. But if you double everything, you get choice D. And it was missed. This one was bad. This one was really bad. What we're doing is we're taking a 2 by 2 and we're multiplying it by a 2 by 3. So the inside says good to go. The outside says the result is a 2 by 3. So I can't be B, and choice D, which was picked by a lot of kids, is not it. It's between A and C. And the truth is, all you had to do, is think about your 2 by 3 and realize that this is row 1, column 1. See how both these entries are different? If this is row 1, column 1, I'm going to take that row and that column. So I'm going to take that row, I'm going to turn it vertical, and I'm going to take this column and leave it vertical, and I'm just going to multiply across. Negative 1 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3, and I'm going to add down, and I get a 3, which is what choice C had. That's legit how easy that problem was. Like, the big issue is 2 out of 3 of you, you're not practicing. You walk out of my room, and you don't take anything home with you. You complain how hard math is, but you need to look in the mirror. All right? That's what you need to do. And, of course, number 8. The issue with number 8 was the same as the last one with the determinant. We don't write it out. So I'm worried about x times x. I'm going to take away the product of negative 2 and 9, and I know that that has a known result of 27. I did have a little girl tell me that x times x was 2x. Honey, you need to fix that. It ain't 2x. It's x squared. The odds of you watching this video are slim to none, but if you happen to be that individual, that's something you need to be fixing. Anyways, a negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 9 is 18. I'm not going to reteach a little math like that. We're going to subtract 18 from 27 and get ourselves a 9. The opposite of squaring has always been square rooting. Pay attention to that 2. That tells you need the plus or minus symbol because there are those answers. And there you go. There's the first part. I'm going to pause real quick, get the second part lined up. I'll be right back. Alright, so part 2, are you allowed to use a calculator? I want to remind you that, oh forgive me, I'm on Reddit. I love Reddit. That if you don't have a calculator at home, you can go to ti84calc.com and there is this wonderful TI-84 that you can use. Who'd have thought? It's even a C color edition, man. But anyways, or you can spend some time and install what I use. And actually, you guys don't have permission to install on your laptops. I use a little. I use something called Wabbit Emu. It requires you have the what they call ROM for TI-84, which you can get off of a calculator. But anyways, we're supposed to in the first one, and this one was bad. I want to talk about it first. A lot of y'all did change order, and I even said you're going to do CA plus CB. You can use the distributive property, okay? And a lot of y'all changed order, and I'm not sure why you did that. I told you how to do it, but you didn't do that. You did something else. So let's go to second matrix, scroll to edit. Let me get this out of my way. And I'll start putting my matrix in. Matrix A has 3 rows and 2 columns. I haven't graded all of part 2 yet. I've only graded maybe one class. It happened to be a big class. And they didn't do so hot on this problem. They didn't. They changed order, and order in matrices automatically makes them wrong. B is also a 3 by 2. Syntax error. I guess it didn't register the click there. Alright. And then I've got matrix C. Matrix C has 2 rows, 3 columns. Be cool if it was already in there, save me some time. And of course it's not. Morning, Mr. Hatcher. So anyways, the deal is we're going to do C times A, and then we're going to do plus C times B. So C, A, plus C, B. And bam, there's my answer. But like I said, a lot missed it. Read, kids. I told you exactly how to do it. I don't know what else I can do for you here. That's the answer, kids. All right. Number 2, much to my surprise, was vastly missed because of the same thing. You changed order. Order is a big deal in matrices. You cannot change order. These are not numbers per se. There are arrangements or storage of data, which usually is numbers. Anyways, let's see, what do we have? The first matrix is a 2 by 3. I don't know why you kids changed orders on things. I don't understand that. If you change the order of multiplication with matrices, it's over. You missed it. And let's see here, the second matrix is a 3 by 2. So I'm going to put that in B. You know, I spent a significant amount of time last night making a retake version of this test for you. Last time I did this, only 2 kids bothered to do it. Like, it's, when you start looking at things from a perspective of my time, that's not worth it. It's not. But here I am. You know, I spent an hour last night making a new test. The video this morning, probably going to take me 45 minutes. That's time I'm investing in you. You can say whatever you want, but you cannot say that I am not giving you a chance to fix yourselves. You're going to have to figure that out, not me. All right, so here's Kirchhoff's rule. This one was just bad. And it was bad because everybody is looking at a diagram. And you know what? Don't even care. Look what I'm doing there. I am literally going to just get that out of my view. What diagram? Never happened. I'm going to focus on the system of equations. And what works best is if we think of these as x, y, z. And I've got that over on the side here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put these things in kind of a standard form here. We need x on the left. That's going to make it negative. And since I shifted it left, there's nothing on the right. 12 and 62 makes 72, and that 72 belongs on the other side of equality. We always equal the numbers on these setups. There's a negative 14x, and there's a negative 14y, and there are no z's on that line. 60 gets shifted over. That's on the right-hand side. There's a negative 14x, and there's a negative 7z. Now, my augmented matrix would look like this. And once I've got the augmented matrix done, I'm ready to go push buttons in a TI-84. Right? That's kind of the deal. All right, so second matrix. Oops, I had the wrong button there. Second matrix, edit. I believe she is a 3x4. She looks like a 3x4. I wish I could make y'all love math. I don't know why my keypad is not typing negative 60. Didn't do a negative sign that time. Negative 60. And it also put a 9 there. Weird. Looking for typos, kids. It's the only way you make mistakes on this stuff. Well, on this one, the issue that I saw was kids didn't know how to write the equations. And perhaps you're that kid. I don't know. If you are, work on it. That's all I can tell you. Anyways, I'm going to second matrix math. I'm looking for something called double REF. Hopefully you remember where that's at. And I'm going to feed it matrix A, because I can't tell you anymore. Look at those horrible numbers. I think I'm going to hit math, enter, enter. Those look a whole lot better. So obviously you have to interpret it. I don't think interpretation is something... I can think of 1 or 2 kids who might not be able to interpret this, but by and large, I think 99% of you can interpret. But if you can't interpret, here you go. The first one talks about x, the next one talks about y, and the last one talks about z. And remember, x was current 1, right? So current 1 should be 24 sevenths. Current 2 is 12 sevenths. Current 3 is 12 sevenths. There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Number 4. A lot of kids don't want to write equations. Now, in first period, which is the class I've graded, it went fairly well. It did. We're just gonna, and I can't use descriptive variables. Like I can't use S for socks because it turns around their shorts. So we're going to call socks X, t-shirts Y, shorts Z. So Craig buys 3 pairs of socks, hence 3x, 2 shirts, hence 2y, and 1 pair of shorts, hence a z, for $35.90. I'm just going to throw away the 0. Jenny buys 4 pairs of socks, remember socks are x, 3 shirts, shirts are y, 3 shorts, shorts are z, for $71.35. It's actually pretty cheap clothing. Jade buys 1 pair of socks, so 1x, 4 shirts, so 4y, and 2 pairs of shorts, 2z, for $59.30. There's your system of equations, right? Now, I kind of need to speed up because I've still got a lot to do for class, so I'm not going to take my time here and write the augmented matrix. Second matrix math, edit. I'm going to strip straight from the equations to my 3x4. This one did go fairly well. I did have one kid who gave me their answers as fractions, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, I know I say that I have a thing for fractions. I do. I also have a thing for making answers make sense in the context of the problem. This problem is about money. It is about money. I should be giving answers in terms of dollars and cents. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, we got a problem here. I got all sorts of typos, don't I? 4, 3, 3, 3. 1, 4, 2, 59.3. All right, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 3, 1, 4, 2. All right, those numbers look good to me. So again, second matrix math, looking for something called double REF. And you are feeding it the matrix where you put all your stuff in, which happened to be matrix A. And if you're not playing along, I doubt the retake's going to be any better for you. That's just honest truth. You're going to waste my time grading it. I want you to do well, but that's going to require that you actually sit down and take the time to do it, kids. You're not just going to easy breezy make it through my class. It's Algebra 2. In Algebra 2, 25% of all students in the entire country fail Algebra 2. And it's not even mandatory. So in a lot of these states, the kids actually sign up for the course, or at least their parents do. But anyways, remember this is about your socks. Socks. $2.50. This is money, kids. This is about t-shirts. T-shirts cost $7.95, and the last one is about shorts, $12.50. It's not a hard problem. All right, I'm going to pause real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're about to take a 4x2, and we're about to multiply it by a 4x2. Now remember, we get rows from the first matrix and columns from the second. So our resulting matrix is going to look like this. The row data comes from the first one, the columns from the second one. Now I've already loaded matrix A in my calculator. I have yet to load matrix B, so I'm going to quit. Second matrix, scrolling over to edit, scrolling down to B. Need to hide this. And if you look at B, B is a 2x2, right? It's got 2 rows, 2 columns. I know that some of you guys, you haven't let that click yet. And I don't know. I just don't know what to tell you. I wish I could make it click. If the little voice inside your head is bad at math, just replace it with mine. My voice is good at it. And I have a lot of kids tell me that. You know, they're like, Milbrath, I don't hear myself anymore with math. I hear you. It works. And I'm talking about your college-bound kids right there primarily. They're the ones that come back and tell me. They say, thank you, Milbrath, thank you. I have kids going to all sorts of fields, and they all come back. Foreign exchange students get in touch with me, and they say, Milbrath, man, I was average before I had you. Who'd have thunk you'd come to the middle of nowhere, Dresden, Tennessee, and you can actually get a world-class education in mathematics? Now granted, you have to put up with me. You do. Which isn't that bad. Anyways, student 3 is the one I'm interested in. And it looks like this version's multiple choice, but student 3 right here, 84.2, 84.4. This might be an older version of that test. Moving forward, choose the one alternative that best completes the statement or answers the question. Solve the system using the inverse matrix method. So the inverse matrix method is a little bit different. You create two matrices. The first one is the coefficient matrix, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. That comes from this. You raise it to the first power, the negative first power, because you're finding its inverse. And then you multiply it by the matrix of the constants. 5, negative 9, 2. And you get, think about what you're doing, you're taking a 3 by 3, multiplying it by a 3 by 1, you get a 3 by 1 matrix as a result. So let's do that. And this is going to give us our answers, kids. A couple of y'all did double REF, and your test explicitly says do inverse method. That's what it says. So A is going to be a 3 by 3. And again, you have to play along, or this is all for naught. You have to play along. I can't make you play along. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's an old saying, isn't it? Probably never heard it, so old. It's crazy. The things that have disappeared and the things that have stuck around. Alright, so assuming I didn't make any typos, we'll find out in just a minute. We're going to take the first matrix, we're going to find its inverse by hitting that little inverse key, and we're going to multiply it by the second matrix. And if I didn't make any typos, here's my answers. Alright? And it literally just works down the column. It goes X, Y, Z. That's how it works. But, I don't know, you're going to have to let that click. But it literally walks right down the column, X, Y, Z. I think I heard my phone go off, which means my wife needs something. And it's 6:42 a.m. This cannot be good. I'll be right back. She's usually not up at 6:42 a.m. So number 7, the mistakes that I thought would be made were made on number 7. And again, it's because y'all don't think. Like, you just think everything's going to be easy, and it's not. I promise you, this life that you're about to live is not an easy life. It is a hard life. You're going to have to learn how to persevere. But, you know, I would say in first period, half of my students picked choice A, and choice A is wrong. It says code it, encode the message. It doesn't say just convert to numbers. So F is a 6, right? O is a 15. R is an 18 because you're spelling fork. And then K is an 11. Why is this wrong? It's not encoded. You have to encode it. You're supposed to take matrix A and multiply it by matrix B. That's how you do it. It ends up being choice C, kids. I'm trying to save time here. Just do it in a calculator. Right? Make matrix A a 2 by 2, matrix B a 2 by 2. Multiply them together. Let's see here. I think this one's going to be cookie book, but I'm not sure. Use encoding matrix A and its inverse to decode the message. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in matrix A. We're going to put this in matrix B. We're going to figure out what A times B is. I think this is the cookie book one. I could be wrong. We'll see what this one is. There were actually 3 different versions on this particular problem. First period, most of you had Milbrath as best. I think by 7th period, it was probably Milbrath as worst. Just depending on the class you had. Anyways, A is a 3 by 3. And this was going pretty good in first period. The kids, oddly enough, would miss the problem prior to this and then get this one right. I don't know, maybe they were just talking and I couldn't hear them and they all shared their answer. I don't know. Who knows? Cheater's going to cheat. Hopefully you were honest, though, right? That's what we hope. I'm not a huge fan of cheating. I'm not a huge fan of dishonesty. But I have my own flaws. And I should probably be working on them. And so should you. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, typo. That's supposed to be a 65, isn't it? So I'm just checking for typos. There's another one too. That's a 77. It's the only problem with this emulator I use. It doesn't always register the clicks on the keypad. It's an emulator, so it's slower than the real thing. So we're going to do matrix A. We're going to multiply it by matrix B because we are decoding. I'm going to press that magic enter key. And obviously I have a typo somewhere though, don't I? I don't know why I went to stat edit. Second matrix edit A. -1, -1, 1, 5, 2, -3, -3, -1, 2. That looks good. Let's edit B. $33, $25, $32, $65, $42, $8, $43, $70, $78, $44. Lots of typos. $78, $44. All right, let's try this again. See what I get this time. That looks a lot more reasonable, doesn't it? Like, you know, that looks reasonable. I'm pretty sure this is the one that said cookie book. And I know you guys won't get that reference. Cookie book is a reference from a TV show called Family Guy, where they walk in on the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street, and he's in a mental asylum, and he's sitting on a toilet eating cookies on his laptop, and he's not on Facebook, he's on Cookie Book. But you probably never watched Family Guy, so you probably wouldn't get that reference. So 3 is a C, 15 is an O, 15 is an O, 11 is a K, 9 is an I, 5 is an E, 2 is a B, 15s are O's, and then 11 is a K. So this one said cookie book. Yours might say something else, but this one was cookie book. All right, save a little time here. I'm going to go straight to the augmented matrix in my calculator. So second matrix, edit. She'll be a 3 by 4 like all these are. Already got a typo. Yep. 1, 4, 3, -10. 1, 1, 1, -2. 2, 8, 6, 20. This one I think was an inconsistent system, if my memory serves me right. But I've been up since 4, so who knows about my memory. I got here a little before 6 this morning. So second matrix math, double REF, because I have to, because you guys take a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to make kids who don't want to learn math. And I'm going to convert to fractions even though I don't need to on this one. I just would rather look at a fraction. Fractions in my mind are cleaner, purer. And so I had some kids tell me that, and this by the way is wrong, they said the solution is 0, 0, 1, and that's not right. This last line says 0 is 1, which is false. Technically it says 0z equals 1, and if we divide by 0, we get undefined, right? This is an inconsistent system. It is not a dependent system. It's not consistent. It's inconsistent system. It has no solutions. None. All right, so this is actually the last real question, I think. Choose the one alternative that best completes the statement or answers the question. And you can do this one straight in a calculator. I feel like the correct answer was B. But again, if memory serves me right. So we got a 3 by 4 again. Goes 1, -1, 4, -5. 2, 0, because there's no y's. 1, 0. You got to pay attention to those placeholders. 1, 3, 1, 15. Anywho, we're going to double REF that thing. Yeah, and there she is. So, it is saying that, again, if you focus on the last line it's not saying 1 = 0, it says z is 0. Y is 5, and x is 0. So that one was 0, 5, 0. This one got to be a bonus because I had this matrix here laid out wrong. It was supposed to be like this. And this would be peaches and apples. That's how it was supposed to be. A lot of y'all figured it out. Sorry about that. But anyways, we're going to put the first matrix in. And actually, let's think about order here, because order is a big deal. This is what, a 2 by 3, and this is a 1 by 2. So we're going to have to take the 1 by 2 and multiply it by the 2 by 3 because the insides have to match. So we're actually going to put this guy in matrix A and this guy in matrix B. So matrix A, again, is just going to be the 1 by 2. And it's about peaches and apples, and there's 3,000 of both. And we're going to take our produce to these different cities, and we're going to see what it's worth, because obviously you would want to sell it where you're going to get the most money, right? Makes sense to me. And matrix B is going to be the peaches and apples matrix over here, and she is a 2 by 3. And those are decimals: 0.5, 0.6, 0.4. 0.4, 0.8, 0.5. I feel like you probably want to take your stuff to Las Vegas. I feel like you're going to get the most money there. It looks to me like that's where you get the most money. Makes sense. It's in a desert. We're going to take first one here, the way I laid it out, multiply it by the second one, and we should get choice D. And it is. It's choice D. So 2,700, 4,200, and 2,700. Obviously, that's where you want to take your fruit. I made this one a bonus, but you had to actually interpret it. It legit says write your answer as an ordered triple in terms of Z. And when you write the augmented matrix, you're going to have to put in a third row of zeros. I think. Seems like you do. Yeah, you do. Anyways, we're going to make it a 3 by 4. And it's going to go 1, 1, 1, 9, 2, -3, 4, syntax error. Blast it. Do you know what a syntax error is? It's essentially a typo. You typed something where you weren't supposed to type. And the last row we're just going to leave straight up pure zeros. And we're going to do double REF, and the hard part is interpreting. I was hoping more would get this right than did. But you see bonus, and you're like, nah. Let's convert back to a fraction. Those are not bad decimals. They're not. But you need to start appreciating fractions. Fractions are perfect. They're not rounded. And comprehending them is a higher level of thought. And if you start working with them, you'll get better at math. Just in general, you will. So anyways, interpret. Now, it says 0 equals 0, which is a true statement. This is consistent, dependent upon, remember this row is about z, z. Now, take each line and write your equation. X plus 7/5 of z is equal to 34/5, and do isolation. So x is going to be 34/5 minus 7/5 of z. You can do the same thing for the y line. Y minus 2/5 of z is equal to 11/5. We're going to swap over. We're going to add 2/5 of z to both sides because the opposite of subtraction is addition. And now we're going to write our ordered triple. X ended up being this funny looking thing. 34/5 minus 7/5 of z. Y was this funny looking thing. 2/5 of z plus 11/5. And we're dependent upon the value of z. So z is any real number. Or you might just write zer. Z is known as real. And I believe that's it. So how much of my life did I just give you? I just gave you 41 minutes and 18 seconds of my life. I hope you appreciate that. I know you don't, but I hope you do.